Well, hello there and welcome once again. New week, new round, new chances, new opportunities. My name is Anton Bennink, and as you might have seen me here before, I'm here as a Proctor Gallagher consultant. And as a Proctor Gallagher consultant, I basically joined the mission from Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher to improve the quality of lives globally by improving the quality of thoughts within people just like you and me individually. Because eventually the quality of our thoughts will turn into the quality of our lives. There's a certain cause and effect situation here. The cause to a positive emotion is a positive thought, and the cause to a positive action is a positive emotion. Energy in motion. So that is what I'm here to do, to share ideas, insights that might help you to improve the quality of your thinking. And by improving the quality of your thinking, you can improve the quality of your life as well. And today, I wanted to dive into a concept that is called paradigms. And paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior. And note this, almost all your behavior is habitual. Something very important to realize is that we are creatures of habit. And the habits that we have developed in our lives are the cause of the results that we've got in our lives. And because of all those different habits, what happens is that most often with most different people, results tomorrow will be the same as they were today because we are stuck in that habitual behavior that creates the results that we are getting. And all of these behaviors combined, that can also be called a paradigm. Bob Proctor has been doing this work for over 60 years. May God bless his soul. I know he is very grateful. He would be very grateful to know that his work is being continued through Proctor Gallagher consultants like me all over the world. And that we are able to now build upon what he has created in his life. Because when you think of this, he started around 1960. 1961 that he got for the very first time that he got handed to him the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, the book that changed everything for him, that took him from a stage of being 6,000 in debt with an income of about 4,000, not seeing any way to get possibly how to possibly get out of that situation, to earning millions in a cleaning business. How does something like that happen? Eventually, he realized about 30 years later that he changed his paradigm. But before that, he used different words for that. And you see that in his earlier seminars, that he called it unconscious or subconscious conditioning. How are you conditioned to think? How are you conditioned to feel? How are you conditioned to behave? And this conditioning is what creates our life. After Bob, throughout the course of about 9.5 years after he realized great success in business, in finances, he was like, what in the world happened to me? Because some people might have been just happy with the results. And he always said, I was happy with the results. But according to my previous belief system, I was not supposed to win. Like, I had no good education. Like, I've always been told, get a good education, otherwise you can't really win in life. Or like, you have to know about business to be successful in business. But he did not have a good education. He did not know much about business. And yet he was very successful in business. So he was like, what happened here? And it took him about 9.5 years to figure that out, what happened to him. And he realized I changed my habitual patterns of thinking, feeling, and acting. He changed his attitude. He changed his paradigm. But he only started to call it, he only realized that the thing that he was actually working on continuously was a paradigm after around, I think it was around 1990, still before I was born actually, that he read a book called Paradigms by Joel Barker. And he was like, that was like another light bulb moment. This is it. This is the key. This is why some people succeed and others don't. Some people just have a better paradigm. And what is a paradigm? As I just stated, a paradigm is a mental program in your subconscious mind that has almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior. And when you realize when about all your behavior is habitual, you realize that, hey, this is what I've got to work on if I want to improve the quality of my life. You can simply not improve the quality of your life if your paradigm stays the same. Because if your paradigm stays the same, you'll get the same results as you've always been having. And a really important part of also realizing is that your results through this are an expression of your level of awareness. And that level of awareness that is blocked by layers of virus code, of belief systems, of values that we have been taught, that we have been programmed to believe, or the things that we've been programmed to value. And Bob, throughout those years, he realized, and I'm coming to realize, that a lot of the things that we are from a very young age are programmed to believe are not necessarily true. Get a good education, otherwise you can't win in life. That's not true. So many people with bad education but good habits have succeeded very, very big in life. Or different belief systems that are holding you back. What do you believe about money? Money is the root of all evil. Or money doesn't grow on trees. Well, actually, money does grow on trees. It's made from paper, nowadays from plastic, but back in the days, paper, coins, paper. Paper is trees and some ink on it, and they call it money. Money is an idea. What do you believe around relationships? What do you believe about health? And a really important question of asking yourself is, do these beliefs serve me, my dreams, my greater good, that what I want to achieve in life? Do the ideas, do the beliefs that do the things that I believe, do the things that I value help me forward in life, or are they holding me back? All these different beliefs and all these different values that you've got that are not serving you is basically the virus code around your awareness. You can't see past that virus until you let it go and until you create a new belief. And actually creating new beliefs can be very hard. But replacing false beliefs with new good beliefs, that can actually be quite easy. Because once you start to re-evaluating your belief systems, the different things that you believe in life, and you write out a couple of things that you believe about your health, that you believe about your relationships, that you believe about your wealth, about your finances, what happens then? Often the things of which you say this belief might not be true, this belief is not serving me, By law of opposites, law of polarity, often the exact opposite of that belief is true. And once you then start to reprogram yourself with a new idea, it becomes a part of your paradigm over time. But you'll have to give that idea again and again and again to yourself until it is programmed in the same way that we learn a language. Why do you speak the language that you're speaking? The language that you're speaking is because you've been grown up in a certain area in life. You've been grown up maybe in Paris, or maybe like me, you've been growing up in the Netherlands, or you've been growing up in, let's say, New York. Say you've been growing up in New York. You probably speak English. You're listening to me now in English. And if you've grown up in New York, you speak English because during your childhood, the people around you were speaking English. But if you were moved as a baby, you were maybe 2 months of age, and you were moved to Beijing, you would have been speaking fluently Chinese, no knowledge of the English language whatsoever. And just like in the same manner as we learn a language, we are programmed with all the different things that we believe. We are programmed to speak the language we're speaking. In some countries, it is normal to speak 3, 4, 5 different languages by the time you're 5, 6, 7 years of age. What happens? Why is that normal in some places and abnormal in other places? The child, before you were, say, 6, 7 years of age, you could not say, I cannot learn this language. So you learned the language. And whether that was 1 language, 2 language, 5 languages, you could, as a child, as a baby, you could not say, I cannot learn this language. So you learned it, and it became part of your programming. It became part of your paradigm, of those fixed ideas in your subconscious mind that become behavior in thoughts, in feelings, and in actions and turn into results. The key is in your life to bring your awareness to the frequency of where you want to be, and eventually to think from there. What does that mean? So many people, I've been over this morning with my coaching clients. So many people live in reverse. So you basically, when you live in reverse, a really good example is, for example, when you were a kid and you came home from school with your report card. And your report card determined the kind of student you were, determined the direction that you could go in life. But in essence, this is not true. The report card is a reflection of where your mind was for maybe a couple of hours a few weeks ago. It is not reality, but we look at the report card and we build reality based upon that. So we build reality based upon what has happened in the past. That is thinking in reverse. And you get a couple of red stripes and a red mark and on your test sheet, and that is where your attention goes. And that is what you think you can realize and what you think you can create. And that moves on all the way throughout our adult life as well. Like when we move into a profession like sales, we look at the sales sheet from past week, and the sales sheet from past week shows me the results that I've got. So I must be able to create those results again and maybe even do a little bit better. But that is living in reverse. That is creating based upon what you've created in the past. Like during one of Bob Proctor, his seminars, You Were Born Rich seminar, they had like a little kid, like 8, 9 years of age, come up on stage, and he wanted to improve certain grades. The suggestion they gave him was go with your mother to school and ask a blank report card. And now you write up the grades that you want to achieve, not based upon what you think you can, but based upon what you want. So your report card, your canvas too, is blank. And once you start writing upon that, what it is that you want, not based upon what you think is possible, based upon what has happened in the past, but once you write upon that, what you want, that becomes your new reality. In your thoughts, in your emotions, in your imagination. And the fascinating thing about our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is also the part where our paradigm is located, is that it cannot differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. So once you've created the report card, or you've created the sales sheet, or you've created the script of your life, and you think from there, you bring your awareness to that frequency of where you want to be, and you think from there, you're already living that reality. And because by living that reality in your imagination, you're slowly and steadily becoming that person that suits that reality, that is in harmony with that reality in your personal and professional life. And once you become that person, you are on the frequency, you are in resonance with the results that are suited with the person that is living that life. And through that, you move into action towards it, and it is attracted by you by the law of attraction. Everything in your life that you've ever experienced has come into your life by the law of attraction. Now let's have a quick look, because what Bob Proctor looked at was the mind. He was like, if you can change your mind, you can change your results in life. This body is a physical instrument, and your mind is the controller of the instrument. Your body is an instrument of the mind. So to get your body to create certain results in the physical world, you first have to think the thought, feel the feeling, to turn this machine into action that creates a reaction that creates result. And in essence, so it starts with the mind. Like in life, in success, 95% is mindset, your state of being, and only 5% is strategy. And once you got the mindset for success, the strategy will come. So it is the state of being that you create in yourself. And around 1934, there was a doctor. This doctor his name was Dr. Thurman Fleet. And Dr. Thurman Fleet was a psychiatrist in the healing arts. And he said, we're missing it, folks. We're trying to help people, and we know that to help people, we kind of have to help them change their mind about the situation that they're dealing with. Otherwise, we are treating symptoms. If we're treating something in the body, if we're treating the results, if we're treating symptoms. If we want to heal, to cure the person, we have to go to the cause instead of the effect. So we have to go to the mind, and we have to help people change their mind surrounding the thing that is happening in their lives that has to be improved. But he said, people, there's a problem. Once we try to help somebody change their mind, improve their mind, but they don't have an image of the mind, we get confusion. And what happens if there is a confused mind? If you think about it, like you've probably experienced it. When you are confused about something, you don't stay with the subject too long. You move away to something else because a confused mind feels uncomfortable. So we move away and go to another subject. So as long as you don't have an image of the mind, you'll have confusion when you think of the mind. And he said, The reason herefore is because we think in images. Think about it. Really think about it. When I give you, for example, the assignment to think about your car. What color has your car? What is the interior of your car like? What are the seats in your car made of? What kind of steering wheel does your car have? All of a sudden, you see an image in your mind of your car. The same happens when I ask you about your kitchen. The color of your kitchen, the color of the fridge in your kitchen. Do the doors of your fridge, do they go open from left to the right or from the right to the left? And all of a sudden, in your mental eye, you see yourself standing in the kitchen. So it is crystal clear then that we think in images. But as long as we don't have an image of the mind, we have confusion. So he said, I'm going to create an image of the mind. And he took a pen and he took a piece of paper and he drew an image of the mind. Let me share that with you. He drew this. 2 circles and a couple of lines. And he said, here's an image of the mind. And he said, this is actually not the way it is, because your mind is everywhere in all places at the same time. Your mind is just as much in your little fingernail as that it is in your brain, as that it is in the rest of the world. And he said, but we need an image to work with if we're going to change and improve our mindset. If we're going to improve our way of thinking, we got to have an idea of what we're working with. And to have an idea of what we're working with, we need to create an image. So he drew this. And he said, the top circle is the head, and the bottom circle is the body. And he drew a little line through the head. And he said, the top half is the conscious mind, and the bottom half is the subconscious mind. And a little circle in the bottom is the body. And he said, the conscious mind, this is our intellectual mind. This is where we consciously think. This is where we can either accept or reject ideas. This is where we can originate ideas. This is also where our sensory factors are hooked up. We've got 5 sensory factors. We are all aware of them. This is how we experience the good, the bad, the ugly. This is how we experience life. Through what we see, through what we feel, through what we hear, through what we smell, and through what we taste. That's the way that we experience the outer world. This is also, this intellectual mind, this is also where our intellectual factors are stored. Our reason, our intuition, our will, our imagination, our perception, and our memory. These are like our thinking muscles, like our biceps of the mind. And how strong can you develop a bicep? Almost infinitely. And that is the same with the muscles of your mind. But most of us aren't even aware of having these muscles. Let's take, for example, the muscle reason. When we're talking about paradigms. When we grow up, or a paradigm actually goes back way further. Like part of the things that you do today, the reason that you do them, the way that you do them, you have to go several generations back in your family tree to figure out who made the decision about how you're doing the thing that you're doing. Who made the decision that you're doing these things today in this way? You have to go back many years to figure out, and that became programmed in your genetics, in your DNA. Think about it, really think about it. That is why you look as much like your parents, your grandparents. And then a little particle from mom and a little particle from dad, and they come together. And there you are, a little baby coming up on the earth, the first couple of months, the first couple of years, not able to talk, not able to say, not able to consciously think. You literally like maybe you're like, what is this? And you bite your hand and you figure out, oh, that must be mine. That must be part of me. And you do the same with your foot, and you figure out this is part of me. You a baby doesn't consciously use the higher faculties of the mind yet. A baby doesn't say, I cannot learn that language, so it learns the language. A baby cannot say, I don't want to know that. If it goes on or in the surroundings of the baby, it becomes part of the baby's paradigm. Everything that happens around the baby automatically falls into the subconscious mind and becomes a fixed idea there. And so, through the first years of our lives, we are programmed to become the person that we are when we are older. Later on in life, and luckily, Dr. Carl Menninger did a lot of research for this. He said, your surroundings, your environment is more important than your heredity. So basically, what he says is the way that you're programmed, you can change by changing your environment. That's why you might have heard it like that you become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Have a look in your peer group. Who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with? And then look at it. Is that true for you? And I almost dare to say with certainty it is. That you'd be in health, in finances, in results, in relationships, in all these areas of your life, that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So your environment influences you through those 5 senses that are hooked up to your conscious mind. And then in your conscious mind, you've got your reasoning factor. And through your reasoning factor, you can either accept or reject ideas. And when you accept or reject an idea, what happens then? Let's first see what happens when we reject an idea. When we reject an idea, it bounces right off the lid. Like there's a lid, say, that is the little line between the conscious and the subconscious. Let's call that a lid. It bounces off the lid, and the idea that is not accepted goes away again. You don't become emotionally involved with it. What happens when you accept the idea? Then you basically open the lid to your subconscious mind and you accept the idea. And once you open the lid to your subconscious mind and you accept the idea, you become aware of it. You are like, yes, I want to accept this idea. And you become emotionally involved with it. And once you become emotionally involved with an idea, it radiates through your being. You can feel somebody who is excited about somebody. You can pick up the energy that this or that person has when they're excited about something. You can pick up the energy when somebody is fearful about something. You can just that energy that radiates from your being. And that energy that radiates on your being attracts everything that is in harmony with that energy. Like energy attracts like energy, they say. So that is how you change a paradigm. Your paradigm is in the subconscious mind. And your paradigm, that is all of those fixed ideas, most commonly referred to as habits, that you've got in your life. The collection of all those fixed ideas becomes your paradigm. And how do you change a paradigm? You change a paradigm by replacing one fixed idea with another fixed idea consciously, taking out and stopping to think about an idea, a fixed idea that used to be there, and giving it something new, and again and again and again. From now on, I would like to challenge you to see everybody in your surroundings as the stick figure. See yourself as the stick figure. First, see yourself as the stick figure. Like, see yourself like with your head as the mind and your body as the body. With the top half of your head, the conscious mind, and the bottom half of your head, the subconscious mind. By the way, 95% of the thoughts that we think, we are not even aware of that we think. They're going on in our subconscious mind. They keep our heart beating. They help me when I want to raise my hand and say yes. Or they help me if I want to make a fist. Like, that's a thought that I barely have to consciously think to be able to make a fist. I can drive my car almost completely from my subconscious mind. I don't have to consciously think about driving my car. So when you think about yourself, you have a conscious mind and you have a subconscious mind, and most of everything that you do, think, feel, is because of a pre-programmed pattern, aka the paradigm, in your subconscious mind. That sets your body into action. And when you become aware that you're a conscious mind and you've got your reasoning factor and your intuition and all of that in your conscious mind, you can from now on become more and more and more aware of the thoughts that you in the past were not aware of thinking. You can calm down your mind. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom, James Allen told us. And once it becomes more calm, you can recognize the thoughts that you have thought in the past that might have gotten you to do things that you don't really want to do because they're giving you the results that you don't want to get. And then you can start to consciously replace them. And then when you see yourself as the conscious mind, the subconscious mind as the body, you can continuously realize, all right, if I flow ideas from my conscious mind to my subconscious mind, I change my results. And when you then, after that, see other people as the stick figure as well, you're going to see them as mind and body as well. And you see them doing certain things, and maybe those certain things annoy you, or frustrate you, or anger you, or upset you, but you see them as this person can't help it that he or she does these things, because these things that annoy, upset, anger me, that this person does, comes from the subconscious mind. So I don't have to be upset or frustrated or angry or sad about this, because this person is not doing this consciously to me. And then you can start to influence them consciously so that maybe in the future they won't do it again. But if you react angered, upset, sad, based upon what somebody has done unconsciously, you're going to upset, anger the other person. And then it's never going to get better. So see yourself and see everybody in your surroundings as the stick figure. Understand that with this image of the mind, what you can do is continuously, consciously improve your paradigm. Because now you know that consciously you can change your paradigm by influencing it with consciously chosen and accepted thoughts from the intellect, and accepting it and becoming emotionally involved with it to bring your body in another state of being. This is what I want to have a chat with you about today. Paradigms and how to change it. Like, think about it. Really think about it. What things do I believe that might not necessarily be true? Or what things do I believe that are not serving me? What are the habitual patterns of thought? What are the habitual patterns of my feelings? What are my habitual emotions? What are my habitual patterns of behavior from my body that might not be serving me? And once you've identified it, look at the exact opposite of those, and one by one, start to reprogram yourself into the person that you want to be, to live the life that you want to live. Thank you very much for listening today. My name is Anton Bennink. And if you want to know more, I have the genius material, the great material from the late great Bob Proctor at my fingertips to help people from where they are to where they want to be. As I often say, just as Bob Proctor often said, if you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. That's very simply because deciding on what you want is an intellectual exercise. What do I want? What does it look like? Who do I need for that? It's an intellectual exercise where you use your reasoning and your imagination factor to think of what it is that you really want. And a lot of people might say, I don't know what it is that I want. And in essence, I don't believe it. But then ask yourself, what do I not want? And then usually the exact opposite of that is what you do want. So what we then help people do is identify what it is that you really want from your deepest desire, from inside. Not what the world makes you think that you want, but what you really want. And from there, we move further. And we move into the process of turning that into physical reality by law. Like deciding what you want is an intellectual exercise. Achieving what you want, turning it into physical reality, that thing that you've decided that you want, that is a lawful process. In the same way that the seed of a baby turns into a baby, or the seed of a carrot turns into a carrot, and the seed of a banana tree doesn't grow into an apple tree. That's not the way it works. Everything in this universe works orderly, by law. So then we step in the harmonious process, bring our mindset in harmony with the laws of this universe in a state of flow, turn the thing that we decided that we want into physical reality. If you want to know more about this, you can visit my website. The link is below, or just go to www.antonbennink.com and you can figure out different ways, from free downloads to complete programs that help you turn your dreams into lifestyle. Thank you very much. I would love to wish you a fun, productive, and pleasurable week.